These wetlands provide several important functions in the environment. According to Philip Meinzer, a conservation specialist for the Alberta Wilderness Association, or AWA.
These peatlands, these sponges, sort of buffer the effect or the impact of wildfire and kind of slow it from moving across the landscape.
He adds, each year, the wetlands can store the same amount of CO2 emissions as the entire province of Manitoba is outputting.
So, we don't want to see it dug up for many reasons, like whether it's the carbon emissions, whether it's, impacts to wildlife habitat, native or rare plants that are in the area.
But the health of these wetlands is jeopardized by Suncor's plan to expand its operations. Last fall, the Alberta Energy Regulator gave approval. It said that the expansion can only cover half of the land in the McClelland Lake wetland. The other half cannot be used and must be protected. Suncor's plan is to build a massive wall between the two halves. The Alberta Wilderness Association asked the regulator to reconsider the approval. Jessie Cardinal is the executive director of the Keepers of the Water Group. She says the nearby Athabasca River is drying up from industry, and the ecosystem cannot handle more loss of fresh water.
They're looking at extracting up to 200,000 barrels of bitumen a day. It takes approximately 6 barrels of fresh water to extract 1 barrel of bitumen a day. So that's almost, that's millions of barrels of fresh water that's going to be extracted just from that project alone.
The expansion could add another 60 square kilometers of tailings ponds over its 50-year life.
When you think of all of the cumulative impacts that are happening, so we already have over 30 projects that currently exist in the tar sands, and there's 19 toxic tailings ponds currently. So with this expansion, the Fort Hills mine expansion, there's going to be an increase in fresh water use and an increase in toxic tailings ponds.
Jean Lomcourt is from nearby Fort McKay First Nation and a land user. She is worried about the impacts to families that rely on the watershed for food.
They're going to take out a big chunk of land and area that's prime habitat for moose and beaver and waterfowl and all the things that we depend on to sustain our way of life.
She is hoping the expansion does not go ahead.
This is our backyard we're talking about. This is our grocery store. And we're going to be made to depend on the grocery stores now to supplement our diets, which is not very good for us.
Suncor told APTN it cannot comment on the story as the project is being reviewed by the regulator. In a statement to APTN, the Alberta Energy Regulator said it is reviewing the submissions received from Suncor and AWA, and it will consider whether to exercise its discretion under S42 of the Responsible Energy Development Act to reconsider the approval of the operational plan. Chris Stewart, APTN National News, Edmonton.